Good afternoon, everyone. Well, welcome to the pre-launch webinar of the Balanced Me Toolbox app. So glad to have everyone. So glad to have you all here this afternoon, this morning, this evening, depending on the time of the day you are in your own country. Thank you so very much for joining. We'll just wait a bit. We'll just wait a bit, then we'll take it on from there. Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It's such a pleasure to have you all here this afternoon. There's a particular song I love so much, and I'll be playing it shortly. It talks about everyone playing their part. Everyone playing their parts. It's by David Archuleta. I so much love the song, and we're going to have it playing in a bit.
Ghana or any other country, and you've been trying to move to Canada, you've been doing it the absolute wrong way.
So it will start shortly. While we wait for other people to join.
There are times when you might feel aimless. You can't see the places where you belong. But you will find that there is a purpose. It's been there within you all along.
When you're near it, you can almost hear it.
It's like a symphony. Just keep listening and raise to the stars to figure out. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies. Each one of us, oh, it's glorious. You will know how to let it ring out as you discover who you are. Others around you start to wake up to the sounds that are in their hearts.
So amazing what we're all creating.
It's like a symphony. Just keep listening and raise to the stars to figure out. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies. Each one of us, oh, it's glorious. Glorious, glorious, glorious. That you feel the most you will see. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies. Each one of us, oh, is glorious.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to that. It's one of my favorite songs. You know, it says, I'll just read the lyrics out for us to hear. It says, there are times when you might feel aimless. You can't see the places where you belong, but you will find that there is a purpose. It's been there within you all along. And when you near it, you almost hear it. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening. And pretty soon, you will start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each of us. All it's glorious, and you will know how to let it ring out as you discover who you are. Others around you will start to wake up to the sounds that you are in their hearts. It's so amazing what we are all creating. It's like a symphony. Just keep listening. And pretty soon, you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each one of us. All it's glorious. And as you feel the notes build higher, you will see it's like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each of us. Oh, it's glorious. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to that piece. It's one of my favorites, like I said, and for me, it's one of the things that has, birthed what we are doing today. We are having a pre-launch webinar for an app that, by the grace of God, I was able to create. And I'll just let us into a little bit of it before the person that I'll be having a conversation with comes up. November 2019, I was just laying on my bed after my morning devotion, and something just dropped in my spirit. Ayo, come up with a toolbox. The name of it was given to me there and then, the Balance Me Toolbox. And I need to let us a bit into what has been happening to me before then. Shortly before then, there had been a shaking in my life, and I was like, who exactly am I? What exactly am I supposed to be doing? What exactly am I supposed to be doing in this time in my life? It was such a trying time for me, and I was trying to find me. I was trying to find who really I am. At some point, I sank into depression. At some point, it was as if I was not going to get myself back. But I give God praise. After months of working with my coach, having to go through therapy and things like that, I was able to find myself back. And it was in the process, of finding me that this toolbox was given unto me. It contains the tools, the things that I worked with to get to where I am today. I know this is just the beginning. I know this is just, the tip of the iceberg. And I'm just so amazed at that which God can do. I'm so amazed at that which God can do with an individual who has lost hope, who feels he or she, can't move further than where he or she is. For me, it's an amazing journey. We actually started with a physical toolbox, and here it is. It's a physical. I think my virtual background is not allowing us to see properly. Okay, yes, I'll try and see if I can get it. At some point, I'll show us. I actually started with a physical toolbox, and I found out that people outside the country were asking for it. And it just dawned on me that how do I get it out of the country? We have to think of shipping. We have to think of things like that. And for me, I was like, there should be more. And that particular day, I was actually with my husband, and I kept telling him, Femi, there is more. I know there is more. I know there is more to this toolbox. I know there is. I just kept saying that, over and over again. I just kept saying there is more. I know there is more. I just kept pacing in the living room. I know there is more. And immediately just came to me, put it as an app, make it into an app. And there and then I picked up my phone and I called my developer. I said, we are doing this. I don't have it all figured out, but I know as we go along, we are going to figure it out. And that was how we started. The same day it dawned on me was the same day we started. And that was the journey. That was the journey into making it into an app. Sleepless nights, times we have to sleep just 3 hours a day to ensure we do the testing, to ensure we move things around. But for me, it's been an amazing, 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 amazing journey, of seeing something small begin to grow. Out of this Balance Me Toolbox, which was a physical box, we've been able to come up with different courses. We're actually launching our online school as well on Thursday by the grace of God. We are launching our online school. We've come up with our online platform wherein people who want to balance up can actually go to and take courses, at a fee and be glad with who they are becoming. From that song that we listened to, it says, I'll just read the first one. It says, there are times you might feel aimless. And that was me some few months back. I felt aimless. I couldn't see where I was going. But by the time I made use of the tools in this toolbox, I began to find my way. And not just me finding my way. I found out that a lot of people were warming up to me and asking me questions. Ayo, how are you doing it? It seems you have changed. It seems there is something that has changed about you. And amazingly, I'm able to, groom more people. We've been able to come up with a mentoring platform. We have over 30 people there now, as of today, over about 32 people there being mentored on how to balance their life. For me, it's been an amazing, amazing, amazing journey. Exactly today made it 7 months that dream was delivered to me. And I'm so glad where we are. I'm so glad what God is doing. I'm so glad lives that are being transformed as a result of this tool. People I don't know have been giving me, I've been sending in their reviews. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. For me, when I was listening to the music, I sometimes can be emotional. I try to be strong, but it took me some few months back. It took me some few months back. And I just give God praise for where I am. I give God praise for that which He's doing with what He has placed in my hand. I thank God for the people that He has surrounded me with, fantastic people. Thank God for my family. Thank God for my husband. Thank God for my coaches and my mentors. I'm so grateful. I'll still thank them all at the end. And I'm so glad to have my mentor, my coach join us. He's such an amazing person. Praise for way. Thank you so very much. Thank you for all you did. Thank you for holding me by the hands. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for seeing the things I wasn't even seeing. Thank you for telling me, Ayo, get up. Thank you for telling me, dress up, even if you have nowhere to go. Dress up, do a video, do a post. You have so much on your inside. Thank you so very much. I can't forget in a hurry the day you came over to the house and you said, Ayo, I pray that what will make you get up doesn't happen to you. I cannot forget. And that day I promised myself I'm going to get up against all odds. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to take delivery of all the things that God has put on my inside. A lot of people say, Ayo, you do so much, but they don't understand. I'm someone God has put so much on her inside, and I must express every part of me. Thank you, PF, for all you do. Thank you for being a blessing. Thank you for not holding back. I could remember the day you told me, you said, Ayo, I'm going to pour everything inside of me into you. I can never forget. That was what you told me. You said, everything on my inside, I'm going to pour into you. And you have always lived up to that which you said. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for canceling all your appointments today to make sure you show up. I'm so grateful. I don't take it for granted at all, PF. We've come a mighty long way, and I really, really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we are going straight into what we have today. PF is here. We are not going to take too much of your time. It's a pre-launch. You are going to have the proper launch on Thursday. And on Thursday, we're going to have Mr. John Tani Obaru in the house, my first boss in the IT world. He was the one that initiated me into computing. And by the time I was leaving, I was actually the head of the quality assurance, and everything came handy while doing this app because I practically tested the app, made sure there was no bug. He'll be coming on Thursday, and also my pastor, Pastor Godman Akilabi, will also be in the house, and also my MDCU, my sweet husband. He will also be around, for the launch. And I believe that by the time we are done, each and every one of us will be gingered, to begin to do those things that God has placed in our hearts. We will no longer see limitations. We will no longer see anything that would hold us. We will be ready to go all the way. We will not mind the noise in the marketplace. We will not mind what people will say. We will make up our mind, to do that which we are meant to do, because we are here for a purpose and we must fulfill purpose. I always tell people it's not how long you live, it is how well. It's a life of impact. Some people live 100, they can't be remembered. Some people live 20, 30, 40, and their names live forever. So please, I know by the time we're done, each and every one of us, we arise and we'll take our place where God has put us. So we go straight into what we are here to do this afternoon. And I have PF in the house. Good afternoon. You're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, Ayo. Congratulations. I'm super proud of you. You know that you are a handful to be a mentee to anyone, because you help all of us get better. And I'm so excited to, I've coached many people. I think you're one of the best mentees anyone can long for. And I'm super proud of you. You make it so easy for me. And thanks so much for doing what you need to do. And it's one thing to push you, it's another thing for you to run. Some people never run, they just sit down. But you started running, and now you have almost outrun me. I have to be on my toes, to catch up. Thank you for all you've done. Yeah.
Thank you so much, PF. So today we are looking at achieving and maintaining balance in the new normal. And when I told you, okay, we are going to talk on that, you are the guest speaker, you said, no, Ayo, you're not doing slides today. We are having conversation. And I just told you, yes, I'm in. Let's just talk. Let's rub minds. Let's just make it, let everybody be able to relate with whatever we are talking about this afternoon. And I'll just ask, PF, when we talk about the new normal, what do we mean? What do we mean by the new normal?
Okay, can you hear me? I noticed that, is that you're hanging or I'm hanging? Who is hanging?
You are hanging.
Is it me or you?
You.
Really? Mine looks very seamless here. Okay, can you hear me now?
Very well, we can.
Okay, good. Now, when we talk about the new normal, it's, before now, online is a tool that we're using, right?
Okay, we've lost him. So I'm sure he'll come back in. Okay, while we're waiting for him to join, I know a lot of us have heard new normal. New normal, it's a buzzword all over the place. New normal, new normal. And that's what I just wanted PF to shed more light on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank God you're back.
Okay. Sorry, the internet is fluctuating. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. So before now, what we're used to is we go to parties, we go everywhere, we do things, and we all enjoy our life. But that has been totally taken away from us right now, where the virtual world, which is was like an addendum, has become the real world right now. What that means is, instead of driving to work, you can stay in your house and do a whole lot. The systems and structures that enables people excel has now been totally taken away from them. And what I mean by that, can you hear me?
Very well.
Okay, good. Now, so for example, you realize that a lot of couples before now, what helped them to attain or achieve a balanced emotion is the fact that they go to work and they return back late. So even if they wanted to fight, the timing for their fighting is restricted because you come back from work tired, both of you just want to eat, and go to bed and go to work tomorrow, right? Weekend was time for open day. Sunday was time for church. Friday evening was either for clubbing or for you go as a Muslim, you go wherever you go, right? Those were the things that helped us balance our emotions, balance our anger, make us pretend to ourselves that some of the problems we had didn't exist. Now, that has been taken away from us. All those support structures has been taken away. So what it means is now you are stuck. An person is now stuck with their spouses and their children for the first time under the same roof. I remember that when COVID started, a couple told me that in 29 years of marriage, that was the first time in their life that they would be in the same house for weeks non-stop, seeing each other every day, right? In 29 years, right? So what has happened over time is our world has literally changed. The hurt is healing itself, but it has moved. It's been long coming. It's just that people were not smelling the cheese. You and I, you will know that we've had a discussion. We moved operations online as far back as September. We didn't know COVID was just a trigger that separated the old world from the new world. So the new normal now is the fact that you got to stay at home and work and then see your children, and then your children got to go to school from home. So nobody is going around. And the challenge of that is there's a demand on your time. There's a demand on your health. There's a demand on so many things. Imagine if you have to launch this you app when it was old normal. What would have happened is we gather a hall, you will rent a hall, you will have to feed us, right? So you have to have a private to give us virtual food now, right? So your budget would have been like $1 million plus minimum, right? But now with new normal, everybody is listening from their houses. So for the first time, many of the things we thought were not possible is now becoming possible. So our world is going to change forever. It's almost like when we crossed from the agrarian society to the industrial age, and now we are moving to the AI age. So it's going to change a whole lot of things, a whole lot of new rules when it comes to the rules of work, rules of relationship, rules of your health, rules of parenting, rules of social impact. All the things have totally changed. So I am in Nigeria, family is in Canada. Before now, I would have just, plane and gone to meet them, but I have from virtual world. So the virtual space is actually the new normal, right? Wherein you no longer have to travel to go somewhere before you can get things done, that you can actually sit in the comfort of your room. So accidents will reduce. There's reduction in road accident, reduction in plane crashes, reduction in many of the threats to our human existence. Now we are proving to ourselves that we can do it. The problem, however, is the fact that social interaction has now reduced, which means if people don't now learn how to attain a balance within the ambit of their personality, they're going to struggle. For example, you take creative convertibles or the intuitive healers who love to touch, who love to hug. They are the worst hits this period because what nurtures them is touch. Now they don't have that touch. They can't go out, socialize, talk and excel. So they are trying to grapple with the effects of the new normal. But guess what? Everyone is going to adjust eventually. And now we're going to realize that, well, it's the best time to live, but at the same time, it comes with new rules. So people who cannot adjust to the change are going to lose out totally. And they'll realize that they will struggle to function in the new world. It's almost as people who used to carry files in the workplace before, when the age of the computer now happened and they did not migrate, either because they thought the Antichrist was going to use the computer or because they just didn't feel it was necessary, many of them lost their job. So people that cannot adjust to the new rules are going to lose their job. They're going to lose opportunities. So if you cannot function in the virtual space, you are going to totally lose out, which is why the app you are launching has come very, very handy, which means that Ayo does not need to do international ministry in quotes by hopping on the plane to go to Japan. Before you come back, what you have taught them, they forgot it, that people can carry you literally in any nation of the world and get educated, get instructed, and do a whole lot of
Yeah. Thank you so much, PF. It's amazing what we do in this season. It's so amazing. I have done much more in this season in a long while. You resume to work, you close at work, right in your home. You know, and I was actually speaking with our daughter that to some extent I'm enjoying this season. A little bit selfish, because I'm having to know what she's up to part-time. Her desk is literally beside my desk. So when she's in class, I know what she's doing. So I'm much more on top of the things she's doing now than before. So it's amazing. Yes, it's, you know, for her, she still wants to play with her friends, you know, physically and things like that. But for me, that was why I said it's a bit selfish. I'm able to get a, you know, a hang of the things she's up to. So thank you so much for shedding light on what the new normal is. So that's where we have found ourselves, and we are expected to adjust. Because if we don't adjust, you will be left behind in this season. You will be left behind. So we need to adjust. Our businesses need to go online. Whatever we are doing needs to go online. We need to change the way we do things. We need to change the way we see things, because this thing is still here for some time. It's still here for some time. Good, thank you so much. So we are looking at achieving and maintaining balance in the new normal. So how do an individual, you know, who has been used to the physical, everything physical, is now able to, first of all, achieve balance in this season? What are the things he or she needs to do? What are the new, you know, the routine he or she needs to, you know, add to his or her life to ensure that he or she is not out, you know, of balance in this season?
Okay, thank you, Ayo. I love the fact that you started this question, because one of the things your app does is that it helps people put a check on every aspect of their lives, right?
Absolutely,
So
yes.
that's one of the core ways you need to achieve balance, because we all have the tendency to be extremists in our area of passion or the areas that we love. So for example, if your emphasis, and all of us can do that, if your emphasis is on family, there is a tendency to see everything through the prism of family, forgetting that there are other ways of life that exist that you don't know about, right? So what happens is we have the tendency to tilt. So for example, someone who is a Christian, the emphasis on Christianity, there's a tendency not to know that another life exists outside of Christianity, where you now think that everyone subscribes to the values in your Bible. And when you don't see them subscribe to that value, you begin to struggle to relate with them, right? So a lot of imbalance has happened to us over time. Even without the COVID, we were not balanced, right? Now with the COVID and with the new normal, balance is achieved, you know, based on, first of all, clarity. Clarity about what do you want out of your life? Where are you going with your life? You know, because there will never be a time that you are going to be able to say, oh, I have 7 dimensions to me. I want to give equal measure to the 7. It's never going to happen. However, balance will happen within the ambit, within the structure of why you are here, right? That if you know your core purpose in life, then it determines, which is in goal scoring, that's what we teach, to say that when you understand who you truly are, then that is what must determine the kind of weight you need to achieve that purpose. That is what must determine the level of financing you need, the level of money you need to make to power the life you want to live. That is what will determine your spirituality, because what you call your spirituality right now may be your religiosity and not spirituality, wherein your religion cannot power the life that you are set here to live, right? It needs to give way for your spirituality. Then you go into your mental health and wellness, right? What your physique, your gymming, your keeping fit will have to be determined by the structure of weight you need to power that future. Your emotional dimension to your life, which is the exposure of your mind, is also the books you read, the movies you expose yourself to, is going to be structured and powered by who you want to be. That if you have not answered that question, why am I here? Where am I going? you will achieve a lot of imbalance. You will be busy, and it will be business, not business. You will be going in different directions. So, in fact, within balance, the most important word is the word NO. No, because when you understand balance, then you will say no to good things which are not right. The problem with many of us is that we are doing good things, but the question is the good you are doing, is it right for you? There are so many good things that are not right, right? And a lot of people are doing those good things. So, I mean, it's fine for me to go to maybe sit in the hospital and be praying for the sick, but is that the right thing for me to do within the ambit of why I am here? I'm not sure that's the right thing for me to do, right? Meanwhile, there are some other people that is the right thing for them to do. So in the new normal, you sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
You need to clearly articulate the question, where am I going with my life in another 20 years? What do you want to be known for? Now, once you are clear about what you want to be known for, then you build your life around it, and you achieve balance within the space. Now, in this new normal era, the most important tool you will need is what we call systems. Systems are not emotional. So which means you need to structure your life in a way that, so for example, Ayo will recall that by the time she told me about this meeting, I was already booked, right? Which means I was not idle. My life had been structured. So if you notice my life, you will notice that I sleep when people are awake. I'm awake when people are sleeping, because I operate within different time zones, right? That's my balance. It may not be your balance, right? Because your life is not my life. So if you try to do what I'm doing without understanding my life, my balance will be your imbalance. Do you understand? So you need to schedule a structure around your life to say, what time of the day must you wake up? What time of the day must you exercise? So you need to, if you have answered where you are going, then you need to check the dimensions of your life. People talk about the 7 dimensions. So you have the physical dimension, which is your relationship with your body, right? Within that space, you now say, what time do I work out? So for me, when I wake up, I write my gratitude list, 10 things to be grateful for, and I hit the street. I'm going for my power work. Within the power work, I have structured my spirituality into my power work, right? Do you understand? So there is no special time for spirituality. You know, I've structured it in, right, that my early morning spiritual routine is structured within the ambit of my power work, right? And while I'm coming back from my power work, I'm meditating, right? So it means my mental, my emotional dimension is also structured in there. Now, the moment I come back, I read, which is my career and professional development, is also structured in there, right? And when I do that, I go catch another power nap, then start another time when I come downstairs and I start my work, you know, which is again my professional dimension, which is why I used to research. Now, when I'm done, I eat, then I am back again at work. By that time, my family has woken up. So I shut down and give about 3 hours, which is the balance for my family, because you need to pay attention to them. That's when I'm talking to my wife, talking to my children, finding out what's going on, and trying to help them with their work, you know. Then by the time I'm done with that, I begin to attend to my clients. So you realize that 24 hours is always enough, provided you know how to structure it. So when I have time with my family, someone is trying to get my attention, is vitamin N, NO, because you are encroaching into the time that I'm supposed to be spending with my family. If I say yes to you, I will become imbalanced, because your lack of order is going to unsettle me, right? So what I've done for Ayo, for example, is because my life is already structured, is to move things around a little bit. So before the time for my power nap, I changed it a little bit. So which means I had my power nap I just woke up to come and take this session. Do you understand? Then when I'm done with this session, I begin to attend to the client I'm supposed to be attending to at this time. Do you understand? So you need to structure your 24 hours and your play must also be structured into it. So this night, we're starting a new schedule in my house, which is we're learning a new skill called salsa. So I'm going to be dancing with a few people, you know, who live in my house, my brother-in-law, you know, and my, you know, kid sister. We're going to be learning salsa, you know, which is a combination of play and exercise. So it serves two purposes. So you need to build systems and structures. And please know, systems are not emotional, right? And what COVID-19 has done is that it now has helped us to change the rules of work, which now means is that you can work in 5 different companies, work as partners, create 1 hour each for the company where you meet and do a lot of. So collaboration is the new competition. And when you understand that, you will know that it's no longer about you. But I must warn, one of the ways, if you must not sit too long this season, because facilitating online is different from offline. Offline, you can move around, your body can move, flow of blood, but you can sit still, right, and not know that your health is breaking, right? So there are things you need to tweak a little bit this season, which will include, going out every 1 hour that you sit down, you need to take a walk around for like 5 minutes. Then you need to get into early morning sun, right, to take vitamin D. If you notice within the last 1 week, there has not been sun, right? So you need to supplement with vitamin D, because if you don't pay attention, you may begin to struggle from depression and what have you, right? So it's a bit of understanding, where do I need to go? What is the demand on my body, my health, and what do I need to adjust? Once you know what you need to adjust by observing your schedule, then build a system around it. Once you build a system around it, then log it into your Balance Me app so that you can be reminded about what you need to do for time. And you see, what it does is you become a superhuman who is very, very effective at what it's doing. And people are wondering, oh, we are struggling. How come you're doing it? It's because you have created a structure. Balance actually must be systems-based right now. And like we rightly say, systems are not emotional, because once a system becomes emotional, it will affect the final output. Where do you want to go? Structure your balance within the ambits of where you want to go.
Thank you so much, PF. Like I mentioned at the start of this webinar, I mentioned the fact that I have about 30 people who have come to ask me to mentor them. And I've made them to know that it's going to be just for 3 months. At the onset of them signing up, I gave them a whole questionnaire to answer. And they were scared. 2 of them actually ran out of the WhatsApp group. So I chased after her, and I was like, what's the problem? She said, these questions, I don't have answers to them. And I said that was why I made the fields not required. I expect you at the end of the 3 months to be able to go back to this particular form and be able to fill this form up. If you really want to attain balance, if you really want to do a lot and be productive, these fields at the end of the 3 months must be filled, or else we are just wasting time. So absolutely, PF, I agree with you. We actually started my work with them today, and I had to share my own templates of my daily routine from morning till night, what I do. What I do in the morning, like you said, I also wake up with gratitude. That's the first thing on my lips when I wake up. I thank God for my eyes, for my nose, for my kidneys, for my heart. I thank God for every part of my body. And when I'm done with that, I study the Bible. Then I wake up my husband so that we'll pray. After which we have our meditation. We take time to meditate. There are times that we miss out on these things, but we try as much as possible to do. Then after that, I do also my power walk. Then I start my day. So I was telling my mentees that it is important that you have a routine. You cannot afford to live your life to chance. Yeah. If you just wake up and you just do anything that comes your way, you'll be sure that anything that comes your way will take up your day. Mm-hmm. And before you know it, someone will come, let's go to Kutu Wenji. You're just carrying your bag and you're going to Kutu Wenji because you don't have a routine. You don't have a structure. I'm an early riser. By 4 a.m. I'm up and my eyes are clear. And please, by 6:37, I'm already yawning. I want to sleep, So that is, that is me. So when you now call meetings for evening, you're stressing me as it were. But when I find out that, okay, I don't have a choice, I have to show up, I must have, strength to show up. So it's important, like PF said, that we have systems, we have structures. You have to be intentional. just have to sit up and say, this is a must to do, and we must give ourselves to doing it. So yes, PF, I have another question here for you. I know we've talked about achieving balance. I know you've given us a few tips, a few principles that we need to imbibe for us to ensure that we are balanced. So by the time you get to balance, how do you now maintain it?
Now, you see, the journey into balance is the journey into success, right? When you become successful, that's the most vulnerable period in your life, because if you are not careful, any trip, you are going to come down, right? So it's not enough for you to say, I have attained balance. Again, it comes back to what do you want, right? Because what you want must be big and audacious enough that it will take you the rest of your life to achieve, right? That at every point in time, one thing I do consistently is every 3 months, I review my life, review our operations, and we kill our operations and give back to something new, right? Because if you don't kill yourself, competition is going to kill you. Something will going to kill you, and that's very bad, right? Because it was Jack Welch that says that when the rate of change outside an organization is faster than the rate of change within the organization, the end is inevitable, right? That you need to jumpstart yourself and say, yes, I have arrived here. How do I maintain it? And like you rightly said, once you build a system around it, then it becomes you are on autopilot. There are things that, so I'll give you an example. I went to bed one day at about 12 o'clock, right? And by 2 a.m., I was awake. As in my eyes, you would have thought that I didn't, everything was. So someone looked at me and said, Praise, what's going on? I still spoke to you at about 11:30. Here you are, you're back at work. I said, because my body is already conditioned. Let me tell you, your body can be trained, right? You can actually train your body to begin to become your alarm bell. I don't use alarm, right? My body is already trained to know that at 5 p.m., this is where you need to be. At 8 p.m., you need to do your final power work for the day and do your reflection and do your mundane task of observing the sun, trying to count the sun. My body's adjusted to literally, so without even wearing a wristwatch, I could literally tell. So the discipline of getting there is the most important part of the work, right? Because once repetition is the mother of all skill. Once you begin to enjoy what you're doing, your brain attaches pleasure to what is being done. And the moment you repeat it, neural lines are formed from your brain to the source of the pleasure in a way that your life becomes on autopilot. Now, this discipline of attaining that level is where the problem is. But once you can get to that level, and it will take you about 3 months thereabout of consistency, right? Because the old you is going to fight the new you. The biggest problem people are having right now is that the old pre-COVID is fighting the post-COVID, is fighting the COVID season to say, I'm not going to let you go. You are not going to go to a virtual world. That's the biggest problem they're having. But once you attain that level and you repeat the process consistently, it becomes your new way of life, your new definition. So what I always say to people is this: if we call it the power of signal, if there is one word you want people to say about you in another 20 years, what would that one word be? That's the word you must fight for consistently. And you see, once you attain that, you become a new standard. And once you attain that new standard, let me tell you the way life works. Once you get there, life has a way of giving you a new challenge, right? Somebody says that new levels will come with new devil, okay? So something will push you to up the capacity of the human mind is limitless. We have not even scratched it. The people we call genius are people who use 9% of their potential. They are the ones we clap for and say genius. Now, if they are the ones you are clapping for, what percentage of your potential are you using? Maybe 0.001 or something like that, right? So you need to push yourself and realize that you can do much more. Now, when you get to that level, right, repeat the process for another cycle of 3 months. Once you repeat it, it becomes a way of life for you. And once it becomes a way of life for you, you have no other life outside that life. Because the old you will totally give way, the new you will adjust. And as long as you don't feed that old you, right, it cannot rise again. It can die a permanent death. And if you feed the new you becomes the new you that you know.
Thank you so much, PF. You mentioned something while you were speaking. You talked about, going to observe the moon, the stars, and, just looking around. Those were one of the things PF told me. and it worked. It made me to begin to appreciate God in another way. There were days, when I was still trying to find me, I'll just go outside and I'll just look up into the sky. I'll begin to count the sky, the stars. I'll begin to observe the moon. Oh, the moon is out today. Those things that ordinarily I wouldn't, do. And those were the things that came together at the end of the day that made me to become, the me that I am today. And I know that I'm still work in progress. I tell people that I'm work in progress. But it's amazing, those little things. At some point, I began to walk through my estate, began to notice the new things in the estate. Oh, this person just bought a new car. Oh, they just repainted their house. The things I wasn't paying attention to before. I found out that it was important. I began to look at the things in my environment, and my outlook to life began to change. I just want to say something briefly. By the time you download the app, for those of us who are yet to, there are a few questions that you will be asked at the beginning, and we called it the balanced me assessment test. By the time you are able to answer that question, wherever you fall, it will tell you whether you are poorly balanced or you are well balanced. And it will send an email to your box. From that email, you'll be sent to school, because we are also launching our online school as well on Thursday, by God's grace. So it will send you to school, some courses you need to take to become a balanced individual. So it's important that those mundane things, like PF said, that we begin to take note of them. Let's begin to walk around our estates. Let's begin to walk outside of our estates as much as, this COVID season will permit us, and begin to interact much more with nature. It's very important. For me, I used to think meditation was was very, something very strange, very, very, very evil. Let me use that word, very evil.
Demonic.
Until I met BF, and my life did not remain the same again. Because in the place of meditation, you take delivery of amazing things.
Oh, yeah.
In the place of meditation, you find out that you calm down much more. You are not just all over the place. So it is amazing. It's amazing. Those are the part of the things that we recommend to people to begin to do. And it's amazing for those of us who are Christians. It's in the scriptures. We should meditate. Mm-hmm. It's important we meditate. We meditate and, and just ensure that our lives is not just all over the place. So it's one of the things I learned in the process, learning to be grateful. I can remember a day as well. PF called me and he said, "Oh, you are just an ingrate." That was what he told me. He said, "You are just so ungrateful." He was really so upset with me that day. He said, "With all that you have, you are called under the duvet, please." He didn't spare me that day. I actually had a speaking engagement. I went with all, power to deliver the message that day. So those are the little things. They are little, but they are powerful. Making use of your gratitude journal, which you will find in the app, your life journey journal, what happens to you on a daily basis, you are able to articulate. And the beautiful thing about that app is you can actually export all your data. So let's say in 5 years' time, you want to write a book. All the things that you've imputed into the app, you can actually export and you turn it into a book. So it's amazing, amazing, amazing what the Balance Me Toolbox can do. Thank you so much, PF. We don't want to take too much of anybody's time today. This is just, to rub minds together, to talk about, achieving and maintaining balance. And PF has helped us as well, to itemize those things that we can do. It talks about power walk, very important. Affirmation, PF, we forgot that, very key as well. It helps us
that's what I call
Sorry?
it. Incantation.
Yes, I know, you call it incantation. The first day I heard PF say incantation, I said, hell, we have started again. Which one is Babalawo and Mamalawo here? That's what he calls it. He calls it incantation. It's affirmation, just affirming yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror and just, telling yourself who you are. I have one that I can take for like 7 minutes. You know, my husband just makes fun of me in the house when I start in the morning. I begin to, you know, I found myself. He tells me we have heard and heard and heard. You said you are just starting. But it's amazing how this, you know, gives you so much energy for the day. It sets the tone for the day. It makes you to know who really you are. Because if you're not careful, you will be lost and not know who God has created you to be. But when you sit down and you think deep, you look inwards and you begin to see those things that, you know, God has placed on your inside, you won't have a choice than to begin to affirm yourself. I was speaking with someone sometimes ago. I said, if peradventure I'm the daughter of the king of Saudi, and I never knew, and I'm just here in Nigeria living my life and everything, then one day, peradventure, I get to know. From that second, my walking will change.
Totally.
It will change because I now know who I am. Not to now talk of all of us that God has created in his own image. And he said, greater works, that's what Jesus said, than this you will do. So why should I, you know, put my head down and allow my shoulders to hang? No, I should raise my shoulder and begin to walk as the daughter of the king that I am. So it's amazing what these things does to us. It's amazing when we, you know, make use of these things, when we exercise, when we meditate, when we affirm ourselves, when we know our personality, very key. You know, when we know where we're going, we have a vision, we have a vision board, we have our values, we have mentors and coaches, very important. It is key for every individual to have a mentor and or a coach, at least. The journey is easier with a mentor. The journey is easier with a coach. Why do you have to reinvent the wheel? You know, why do you have to reinvent the wheel? Have a growth plan, have a financial plan. These are the things you will meet in the Balanced Me Toolbox app. So PF, before we go, I just want you to give us the last word. What would you want us to go home with as a people for those of us who are here this afternoon?
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Let me tell you this. I am very, very blunt when it comes to sessions like this. I'm only nice when you begin to do what is right. The odds are already against you. As a Nigerian, as an African, the odds are against you. Take it from me. The probability that you're going to ever become the best version of you is less than 15%, as it were, right now, if you don't do something urgently. And I'll tell you why. Your parents already put some kind of rules in your brain that is called right and wrong rules. Now, right and wrong rules, the challenge with that is there are so many things you will never dare because you will not pass the test of their right and wrong. What used to be right and wrong many years ago is not what is right and wrong right now. So we say that you need to move beyond right and wrong to the level called peace and progress. Now, when you understand peace and progress, you begin to look for rules of engagement. The rules of engagement has changed. And when paradigm shift, everything resets itself to zero. So you have to ask yourself, when will you become that you? Consistently, I see a lot of people at 60, they are still trying to find themselves. They are still going around from conference to conference. They might let God come and use me. Of what essence will you be to God when you're already 70 and you were the one that should have won Olympic gold medal at the age of 17, right? So life is not going to wait for you. You will always have time. What you will not have is energy, right? So what you need to do is energy management, to say, I will no longer deploy my energy in the direction of the things that cannot produce results for me. One of the things I do with my mentees, and I went through that, is that you need to review your life, review the places you have given your energy and your strength to in the last 10 years of your life, and ask yourself, what results do you have? Because many of us pretend and we lie to ourselves that we have results because we drive a big car when you don't have any result, right? There is nothing inspiring about your life that can cross the shores and the boundaries of your country. You need to get back to the basics and ask yourself, think like a human being. suspend the religious rule, suspend the cultural rule, suspend what you know and what you don't know, and talk to yourself as a human being to ask yourself, if I continue in the direction I am going right now, where will it lead me? Where will I end? If what you are doing right now will lead you to, if where it's going to hand you to is not a place you are going to be proud of, then you need to do something as a matter of urgency, which is why you need to download this app almost immediately and start your journey. I can still remember clearly when I started a journey, and I mean, when I see where she is, it's a testament to the fact that everyone can turn their life around in 1 year. Trust me, in less than a year, you can turn your life around, which is why this app is very key for you. You can start your journey into self-discovery, then you can begin to balance your life out, wherein you become an inspiration to others. Your energy level will increase. The way you breathe will be deeper. Then you realize that you are more happy with yourself. And whatever happens in the world, you have the capacity to confront the situation and to go ahead and win. Be you, be brilliant, be free, be the best version of yourself, and deploy yourself to humanity. That's why you are here. We can't wait to hear from you. Maybe someday we will also launch your own app, and you will also be able to testify to the fact that in Ayo's light, you found your light. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. Let us keep lighting each other's candle, and we will illuminate our world together. Thank you very much, Ayo, for inviting me. Thank you for all of you who are here. I love you. I appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, PF, for coming on board. Thank you for sharing yourself with us again this evening. God bless you so very much. I just want to say something to all of us who are here this afternoon. There is something on your inside that the world is waiting for. Let nothing hold you from being who God has created you to be. Let nothing. Rise up from wherever you are and make up your mind to shine your light. Make up your mind to shine your light. Make up your mind to shine your light. There's a particular slogan that I have, on most of my posts, and I call it living, loving, and laughing. A lot of people ask me, what does it mean? Those three things I wasn't doing before. I wasn't living, I wasn't loving, and I wasn't laughing. Until I took delivery of who I am, I began to do those three things. I actually started by saying, live, love, laugh. I was prophesying into myself. I was encouraging myself. I was telling myself what to do. And at some point when I knew I began to do that, it moved on to living, loving, and laughing. And amazingly, let me let you all into a secret. Actually, the name of our company is L Cubed International Limited. And L Cubed is from living, loving, and laughing. So those of you that have been wondering, what does it mean? I've let the cat out of the bag this afternoon. It means living, loving, and laughing. So let nothing stop you. Rise up. People will talk. People who don't understand what you're doing will talk. You yourself, you may not even understand what you're doing, but rise up and start. When you start, when you take a step, it becomes clearer. Clarity comes with doing. Clarity comes with doing. I can remember the first mastermind group that we had. It was my first time, and it was a bit, tacky. But with time, we're able to, make it smooth, and now we are on to a proper online school. So please, I just want to encourage us. We all have one thing or the other to give to our world. Let nothing hold us back. Let nothing stop us from being whom God has created us to be. The sky is just the beginning. Let's arise. Let's show up. Let's stand out. Let's bloom. Let's stand in the spotlight. Whatever God has told you to do, it is a crime if you don't live up to it. It is a crime. So rise up today, do all God has, told you to do. And I'm sure that in the next few months, we will gather and begin to celebrate that which God has birthed through you as well, in Jesus' name. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We meet again on Thursday. We'll be launching the app proper and even the online school at that point in time. Like I said at the beginning, my first boss, when I finished the youth service, Mr. John Tani Obaro will be in the house. My pastor, Pastor Godman Akinlabi, will also be here. And my MDCU, Mr. Femi Lawrence, will also be here. And we will be launching the app. And at this time, I just want to say thank you to everybody. I want to say thank you to my siblings. I want to say thank you to my friends. I'm blessed with very good friends. I want to say thank you to them. And I want to say thank you to my immediate family, my sweetheart, my heartthrob, my husband. He's been an amazing person. He's my sounding board. When I begin to have my brain waves, he's the one I first of all, drop everything on. Femi, what do you think, And he'll say, okay, Ayo, let's look at this. There are times I'm running. He'll say, Ayo, calm down. And there are times he'll say, Ayo, we need to do this now. So I really so much appreciate my husband for giving me wings to fly, for allowing me, to be who I am becoming. There was a day we were having a conversation. He said at some point he was asking God, what exactly am I supposed to do in this girl's life? What exactly am I supposed to do? And I thank God for where we are. I also want to thank God for our children, Tosin, Toyin, Tammy. Thank you so much. The days you are trying to talk to mommy and mommy is giving you the notepad to write your question on, and I'm responding with my pen again to you. Thank you so much for bearing with me. The best is yet to come for each and every one of us. Thank you so much, everyone, for showing up. Muturayo, my friend from school, thank you for coming. Mrs. Duga, Grace Ake, Fumilola, Oyiloyi, every one of you, I'm so grateful. My brothers, my cousins, my mentees, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for making it a day. This is just the beginning. We are continuing on Thursday by God's grace, and I trust God for a fuller house. Please tell people you can download the app. The link is on all our social media and those L Cubed International Limited. When you go on the link tree there, you will see the link you can download. Thank you so much for coming. God bless you. I appreciate you all. My pastors are here. My friends are here. Pastor Sunji, Pastor Shio, thank you. God bless you. So we move on to the launch on Thursday, and I trust God for another fantastic time. Do have a beautiful evening. Sorry if I didn't mention your name, Mommy Mo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone present this afternoon. Thank you for making it a day. And we'll see you again on Thursday, same time, 3 p.m. by God's grace. God bless you. Bye.